Hello, my name is Emma Fawcett and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator based in Newton Abbey, Belfast, Northern Ireland. Thank you so much for joining me today on Emma's Crafty Space. Today I am going to be showing you how to make this cute little faceted bag. If you look at the bottom, it is quite small and dinky, and a little plus with this bag is that it is self-closing as well, and it also showcases any DSP that you really want to show off. All sides are covered in it, so it really does show all those nice different papers that you might have stashed away at home. So I'm just going to talk you through the suite that I'm going to be using or working with today. So I've picked Sweet Strawberry because I really do think the papers that are complementary to this are absolutely beautiful, and the colors in the suite are just pretty. There is so many colors in the suite, and obviously this bundle as well has a complementary punch, so anything that is quick and easy for me is a winner. So you can see here that the stamp is two-step stamping, but it's also one of the distinctive ones in that you're getting the stamp image also has like a nice shading in there already for you. The punch as well, it punches this little flower out, and then if you remember this little punch from last year's Sale-A-Bration, it punches out the large punch, so hopefully you've already got that one in your crafty stash. So I'll just put that to the side. Also at the moment, Sale-A-Bration is running, so if with any £90 spend you are getting the stamp set and the DSP together. So this is the DSP that I've used for these bags today. So there really is quite an extensive suite whenever you've got an addition of an extra stamp set that you can add to your collection for this suite. So we'll just make a wee start in the bag. So I'm going to give you your card measurements first. So your card itself, I'm using shaded spruce here. It measures 6.5 inches by 8 inches. So you're going to score on your 6.5 inch side, you're going to score it at 3 inches and 6.5. You're going to turn it clockwise, and then you're going to score at 1.5 inches and 7 inches. Okay, so if you can, in your head, if you can imagine this is the top of your bag and this is going to be the base, we're turning it clockwise again. Okay, and this is where you really need to pay attention. So at 2 inches you're going to score to your first score line, and then at 5 inches you're going to score to your first score line. Okay, and know that the reason for that is going to become apparent in a wee second. So you can set your scoreboard away, but you need to keep your scoring tool. Okay, and then you are going to get a ruler, and you are going to score from this corner here, and you're going to bring it down to this point with your ruler and your scoring tool, and then you're going to go from this corner here down to this point, so it gives you that nice triangle. Okay, so I'm going to do it on this side. So my ruler's going to this point here, and it's going to the tip of that score line. Okay, so you can see now the score line, and then you're going to go from this corner down to here. Okay, so those scorings, because you're doing it on a hard surface, you're not going to get as deep a score as what you have here, so you do need to be careful whenever you go to crease that up. Okay, so we'll get this part set sorted out, and then we'll talk about the DSP. So you, first of all, you are going to cut up here to the tip of your triangle point. You're going to cut up here to the first score line, and just keep on repeating that to cut up to your first score line. Okay, and then your last one, you're going to cut up to your first score line. You're going to turn it clockwise, and then you're just going to do a wee wedge here, because this is going to be where the bag is going to have that long tab to close with. Then bring this down, and again you're just going to wedge here. Okay, move these out of the way. Okay, so now you are going to get your bone folder, and you're going to crease all your lines. Okay, just remembering these squares along the bottom are your base. Okay, now when you're scoring these triangles, you have to be very careful, because obviously we don't have as good a crease on them as what we would have had if we were doing it on a scoring tool. So what you're going to do is you're just going to get that first line. Now you don't want to go right up to this tip, you just want to go crease to this line here. Okay, so the two outer ones are a bit easier because you've got they're cut at the bottom here and you're on the edge of the bag or box, whatever you want to call it, bag box. And then so these ones, just start the creasing process for yourself by doing this, and then it'll maybe fold over a wee bit easier. So again, you don't want to crease right up to here, you just want to go from that line down. Okay, same with this side. Start it off just so that you can get it started and you know where you're going with it. And again, you're going to be going to this line and down. Okay, so you can see now those triangles are kind of sitting proud of the rest of it. Okay, so just set that to one side and we're going to now talk about the DSP. So the DSP measures 2 3/4 by 5 1/4. Okay, and then you need to get your ruler, and you need, so I can see that that's the direction that I want my DSP to be in. So you need to turn it upside down. Okay, and this will make sense whenever we're working our way through this. And you may need to measure 1 3/8 and put a little line so that you can see where you need to cut to. So do that on both of them. Okay, so I already have my lines there. You can just see just a wee line there. Okay, and then you need to bring your trimmer in, and I would suggest you use your Stampin' trimmer rather than your little mini cutter, purely because you've got a valley here and it's very obvious, rather than trying to see if it's going to hang on to the edge of your mini trimmer. So again, we are going to put this little line that you have made into the valley here, and then this bottom corner has to go into the valley also. So you're basically just going to cut out a big long triangle here. So my mark's in the valley and this point's in the valley. So close that down. Just take one more look before you trim it and run your trimmer down. So set that down there like that so you have it in place. And then you're going to do the same, only you're going to put this corner into the valley and your marker up here again. Okay, so again, just before you trim it, just have one more look. Okay, and then set them down the way you've trimmed them. And the reason I'm doing this is because then whenever we put them on the bag, you can see all of the sheets match up. Okay, so we'll go do the second piece now. So I've measured 1 3/8 across, so my little lines up here in the valley, and then this corner here is in the valley. Okay, just move it up. Okay, so just have another check in case it's moved whenever you're bringing that piece of down. And trim, and then same again, this mark up here and this corner. This is probably the hardest part of the bag. It's just making sure that that is all in where it needs to be. Okay, so just setting that down beside me and you can lift your trimmer away. Okay, so now you need to glue these pieces on. Now if you wanted to, you could use double-sided tape, but I'm using wet glue. And when you are doing this, you need to make sure you have glue on all your tips, because it's a faceted bag. These tips are quite exposed, you know, so they could get, you know, they could get rubbed down or kind of cut. So you need to make sure those tips are all completely stuck down. So just a little glue, now not loads, to the tip. So I'm just using my fine end so that I know I'm not getting too much glue into those tips. Okay, so just make sure the whole thing's covered. Okay, and then you can just slide that down into that tip. Okay, and just give it a good press down. Okay, and then your other side you're going to put on. nearly went the wrong way there. So you can see that completely matches. So this is why we had to do it upside down, because the triangle's upside down. So if we had did it the other way with the paper up the right way, then all our strawberries would have been the wrong, and leaves would have been the wrong way. So you only need to worry about that if you've got paper that's directional. If you've just got paper like that check, you wouldn't need to worry about it. Just make sure they've got a good press down onto that. Again, right down to the tip. Good covering. You can see it now, it's really starting to take shape. And our last panel. So next step you have to do for this is you have to now glue down this side. So this is how your bag or box, whatever you want to call it, is going to close. Okay, now you could use double-sided tape for this. I don't know why, but I always just go for my wet glue. Okay, so tuck that in and then bring that side down to meet it. And give it a wee press with your bone folder just to make sure it's all stuck. Okay, you can see now that's your opening. I'm just going to let that sit a wee while longer. In the meantime, you can cut out a little tag for yourself, and I have used this little tag, and it's from the Ornate Frames dies. So you can see that it's just nice and small. So that looks like it's pretty well stuck. Okay, so next step is you are going to stick your base together. So you're going to put one flap down and just do alternate flaps. So that one's going down, that one, and then this one. Okay. You can either use your bone folder or a ruler just to get down to the bottom of that, just to make sure that's all completely stuck. Okay, so now that is my bag completely stuck, and you can see now just how pretty all that pattern is on that. So my little tag, I'm going to use one of the stamps from the stamp set, so I think I'm going to go with Hello There. And I might stamp it in Night of Navy because it's one of the colours in the suite, and you can just see there's a little bit there of it on there. So again, I always just use my grid paper just to try and make sure that I've got things straight. Okay, and I'll maybe just layer it up with a dimensional just to make it sit up off the rim of the bag. Now you could, if you wanted to, punch 2 holes in and thread a ribbon, but it kind of takes away from the fact that it's a self-closing bag. We'll just stick that wee one there. And I might do a little bow just to make it a bit more interesting with twine, just to hide that little hole there. You could thread a ribbon or a wee bit of ribbon through it as well. Something nice and cute and small. And a glue dot. I'm going to fold it in half because obviously my twine bow is really small. Place it there just at that hole. It's just really just to hide that hole. And then your little bow can just hang with its wee tails. So that is my little bags complete. So you can see they are very cute and extremely colourful, which I love, especially now spring is in sight. So I really do think that these are very cute little projects and very nice to gift to someone, filled with some nice goodies or little treats. I hope you've enjoyed the tutorial. I will list all the items that I've used in the comments below, and remember that my online shop is there and it's open 24/7 if you need any supplies to order to make these projects. Thank you so much for joining me. Take care. Bye bye.